Ladies, we'll wait just a couple more minutes. Looks like people are getting on, finding me okay. I see Donna is here, and Tammy is here, and Connie, Stephanie, Sharon, Kathy. You got about 30 more seconds. And there's Diana. Welcome. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right. So this is the March hostess code. If your order is less than $150, please use this hostess code. And anybody that places an order will go into a drawing for this stamp set the first week of April. Now, if you already have this stamp set, trust me, I have plenty of other new ones, and I'll be happy to switch it out. It will be a stamp set. I believe it was yesterday. I get my days mixed up. Stampin' Up! Launched a new promotion, which is a butterfly stamp set with the dies. There's paper that goes with it. There's some natural paper. Of course, you save 10% if you purchase the bundle now. You can purchase everything in one swipe. The paper, this stamp set will be available in the new annual catalog, which will go live in May, a month earlier than usual. But the paper will not be. It's just a short-term promotion. So it's while supplies last. I'm told that these open-ended dies, it's like one piece, will cut this paper right here. All in one. You lay the dies on it and it will cut it. As you can see, you get quite a few dies, detailed dies, some brick. So if you need more information about that, you can either private message me, or if you go to the Stampin' Up! Website and click on current promotions and stuff, it will be listed there as well. So I see Pat has joined us, and Diane Lowell and Patsy. So Sue. So welcome everybody. I hope you all, Nancy. I hope you all had a great day. So tonight is a punch-out class. I haven't done one for a long time. I used to do, a full-scale type class a couple of times a year. So the first project I'm going to do is this Lego one. I have a great nephew that's going to be turning 4 in early April, so I wanted to get his birthday card done early. I did use the same layout and stuff for my Senior Plus, for those of you that take that class there. The difference between this one and the Senior Plus one, I didn't know what people had for supplies. So this one here, I did sponge around it, but I'm not going to sponge around this one so that you guys can see the difference. So if you should want to make one. I just used crumb cake. So the typical card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4. Now I used it's about a 1/2-inch punch, I believe. But you can use any size punch, just adjust your squares, or if you wanted to make an 8 one, you know how Legos come in 1s, 2s, 4s, 6, 8. I think that's the biggest, but I'm not sure. I should know by heart. I have 2 grandsons that literally have bins, excuse me. the color bins that you put your sweaters, couple of sweaters in. They have them by colors. That's how many they have. And I'll always ask them, well, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? And they'll say Legos. And I'll say, well, you got to tell me which ones you don't have, because they have hundreds. So this is a piece of crumb cake that I did run it through the embossing folder that is called, I have it right here, Tasteful Textile. It's a standard 4 by 5 1/4. So let's use a little bit of red glue, because remember, when you emboss stuff, you either need to use heavy duty tape or wet glue. Although this new Stampin' Steel, it probably would stick. But in the past, the regular snail wouldn't get down in the grooves, and it just kind of sat there. So I want to have a nice white frame all the way around it. Now I do have about, I think it's 6 of these kits already. So if somebody wants one, the way you can get a free one is to hit the share button. I'll be happy to send you one. I also have some extra kits on something else that I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so there's those 2 pieces. Then you need some kind of a mat to give your little Legos pop up. So I used basic black, and I cut this at 3.5 by 3.5. So I like to put my parts on here first. Because these are senior citizens, everything is done for them. Because I don't know, they pick them up at the office and bring them home, and I don't know what they have for supplies. I've been teaching classes there for, I don't know, at least 2 years. I'm guessing more like 3, because my husband's been gone too, and he used to help me bring my stuff, so I'm guessing at least 3. I think Donna's on here. She's always been in my classes. I would say at least 3 years, Donna, wouldn't you? I lose track of time. It might be more. Who knows? I know I have to look back and see what I've done, because sometimes I get an idea in my head and I think, oh, I think I've already done that. So there you go. You're going to place your little dots. Try to get them even. Anybody that has grandsons or nephews, boys in general, even men, my oldest son has 2 boys, they're always playing Legos. They make monsters and what have you not. So like I said, you would use whatever size punch you have. You would just adjust your squares accordingly. So this one here, I made my squares 1.5, because this is about 1/2 inch. These little dots. Almost there. So how is everybody today? It was beautiful out today compared to yesterday, for those of us that live in Maine. Although I just came in from taking my sweet girl out. The wind has certainly picked up since this morning. Yes, even girls like Legos too, but I think boys kind of stay with it longer. I do have granddaughters. They like the big chunky ones that you can make something that's, I don't know, 3 feet tall or something like that. Okay, so now I'm going to use my red glue, and I'm just eyeballing this. If you want to be particular and measure it out, you can go for it. And I never make 2 alike, as you can tell that I'm not necessarily putting them in the same order. I know my grandsons have all kinds of the little people, I call them. There's a name for them. I'm sure I'm not calling it the right thing. Whoops, that slipped. Let me hold that there for a minute while it dries, just catches anyways. Now you can either cut these on the paper cutter, which I did, which is probably why they're not exact, or if you have a little square die. Some of us have been stamping for many, many years, have square punches. You can certainly use that too, whatever works for you. So there's my base. So now I'm ready to put that on my card. I personally don't have any dies that are 1/2 inch, but you may, I'm not sure. So just look and see what you have and adjust it accordingly. Then I used the new double scallop, double oval punch that we have. I don't have it on my desk, I don't think. Let me see. Oh, I do. This one right here, people. This makes a scallop one in this. That's what I used here. And then I'm going to put I've already got a pop-up behind it. So yes, this card went together really quickly because I had the kits. So you can see the difference when you don't shade it versus shading it. So that's just a personal preference. I think both of them are fine. It's whatever you prefer. My new favorite. What's your new favorite, Connie? You're as bad as me. It's like every day I always say, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. So my other card, I wanted to help people get ready for Easter. So I want to show you. All right. So this is the Easter card using punches. And then when we're done, I have all kinds of samples and another way that I made it. So this one here, I used the 2-inch punch. And then I used the oval from that punch that I just showed you. Right here. That's what the ears are. Now, my little bunny tails are an old punch, but I'm sure you have something. You can use a circle. This is a very old punch that we had. This is the spring punch. The bunny's going through the meadows. And then inside, oh, this one doesn't have it, but I'll show you another one that does in a minute. I'll show you another trick that you can use your daisy punch with. So let's get started. This time, I like bright colors in case you haven't been able to figure that out. I'm using some of the beautiful fine art paper. So typical 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 A2. I did cut these mats down just a little bit. I wanted them to be a little bit more of my card to show. So these are 3 3/4 by 5. I will have all the measurements up tomorrow, I promise, peeps. At some point. We have a vet visit tomorrow. And then Friday, I'm getting my first vaccine. I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm going to hold this here for a minute. So you can see, this time we have almost a 1/2 inch of a border, which I like. And isn't this paper beautiful? Okay, so this here is the back side of this paper. It's almost like a artsy-like that they've made it. So my 2-inch circle. And I did put it just a whisker past that layer. See right there? That's where it ends, and it's just a whisker. I forget though, we have people that You all know what a whisker is, isn't it? Sometimes I say stuff and people will say, what is that? Awesome! Yay, Diane and Connie! Hopefully, once we all have our vaccines, I can do small classes so we can visit. I miss people so much. It's really hard when you live alone. I can only talk to Miss Pearl so much, and she's like, you know, leave me alone type thing. All right, so I just put a little bit of glue, and I'm just tucking these under any place. No right or wrong. Another one over here. You could put all kinds of them. You could cut grass. And I have a couple of my little flowers. And I'm going to take my bone folder. Don't pull too hard though, you rip. I just want to break the fibers down so I can crunch one up. Alright, so let's put that down. Put a little drop of Tombow right here. Hold that there for a second. Now I'll put a little bit of Tombow behind this one. Just a drop. And then I'm going to grab a bling. Gotta have cute bunnies, right? Pretty bunnies. So once I know that this is nice and dry, I'm going to bring this up a little bit, the first one. I got a little bit of stamping to do. So I'm using the Blackberry Bliss. I'm using Easter Blessings, which is from the Itty Bitties Greetings. This is a true box stamp, but it has everything you could ever need. Especially I like the Happy Hanukkah. That's something you don't see very often. For those of you that have been around, this is where I get my flowers from. That tells you how old it is. Alright, so now we need a little piece. I wanted to, I think I've showed you this before, but I'm not 100% sure. So let me do it again. A little trick. So I'm just stamping that right here on a piece of scrap. And then I'm taking my classic label punch and I'm going to push it one end. See how the E is pretty close to that end? And I don't care that it's missing here, because I'm going to show you what you can do. So now I punch it out. And I'm going to thread it back through. Make sure you line it up even. And once I see that S, I'm going to punch it again, and it makes my words smaller and fit that. I am going to put a piece of heavy tape behind this because of that embossed. So tearing tape or whatever heavy duty tape you use. And then he needs a pretty bow. Should we use this linen? This one here I put 2 bows, but should we use the linen or the dotted? What would you like to see? I love this linen, the linen one. It's from, I think the All Season Alright, I'm going to get my little bow maker. I guess I'll go with the linen one. And then I'll put a piece of the dotted one. How about that? Like I did with this one. So this is, this ribbon is still available. It's called the polka dot tulle ribbon. So I just took another piece of that little, cut this. This tail's a little long too. I just took a piece of that tulle and I'm just going to wrap it around just to jazz it up. This is a great trick to use all your little pieces. So I'm going to trim those down just a little bit. So by holding them together and cutting them, they should be the same length. Alright, so there we go. Cute little bow. And again, I'm using a piece of heavy tape. I'm putting it right across where it meets. And I like to put my bows a little cockeyed. I know Sharon's watching me because I say, if you want it to be straight, it's not going to be. So put it crooked on purpose. Sweet, huh? Isn't that sweet? So now I wanted to show you some other alternates that I did. The same principle, but I used the stitched shapes. So you can see the difference that it makes. And then on the inside, I took a piece. This is from your tulip stamp set, right here. Happy Easter, happy spring. And then I took my small daisy punch. Let me just get a piece of scrap paper here. Okay, so I took my small daisy punch and I just punched out a few. I'm going to show you how I made those. So little scraps of paper work fantastic for this. So then you're going to take your scissors. You want your two best ones. So I'm just rounding it, cutting those off. Cutting those off, rounding it, because this isn't very... So there you have a head with bunny ears. Last year we made a card where they were all across, just a bunny ears. So this is using the hydrangea paper. Here's another one. I didn't put Happy Easter on this one. And then this is using some of that beautiful celebration paper. Whoops, looks like one of my things fell off. Let's put a little more glue before I forget. Maybe it's in my basket. I might have set it there and not glued it. I do that once in a while. Because none of us have ever done that, have we? So this is that celebration paper. This is the celebration paper. And then this is some more of the hydrangea paper. So let me get back to the original. So you can see the stitched makes it a little bit different. Same size, everything's the same size. There's no different in size. But if you didn't have them, the punches are just as sweet, I think. So next week, I know Wednesday is a slimline card and a fun fold. Monday night, I can't remember, but you know, I will post over the weekend if you want to stamp along with me what you will need. I want to show the Stampin' Stack one more time in case you didn't see them the other night. So these kits are ready to be ordered. They will be ready for pickup on Tuesday. a groom, St. Patrick's Day, and of course a black and white. So if you want one of these card kits that are all ready to go, all you got to do is hit the share button. The other thing I wanted to tell you is I often hear people say, well, I can't find you. There's a little bell on the right-hand side of your computer. If you hit that, it should give you a notification when I'm on live. So if you want this kit, the other kit that I have, 6 of them as well, again, you hit the share, is these pants made from the tailor suit. This was used in some of the celebration paper. There's a black and white one stamped. No, the black and white one, this black and white one is all paper. So isn't this one. This one is all paper. These aren't stamped, they're paper. And the black and white one is paper too. There's not much stamping this month. It just happens that way. Just like this one. The only thing that's stamped is the words. Alright, well, I'm so glad you guys like the bunny cards. Yeah, they're cute. I'm going to make a ton of them. Alright, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the class. I'm so glad you could join me. I hope you have a great evening and a good week. And I'll see you back here next week. Diane, you don't have any stamps? Of course you've got stamps. You mean the flower stamp? Is that what you were talking about? Yeah, nope. I die cut that from the paper. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye-bye.